All right, let's be clear here. What he pleads to is a criminal citation. This is not even a crime. It does not reflect on your record. And most of you out there who drive a vehicle have had a similar conviction in your history. How is that so? Because most of you have been issued a traffic ticket. That's right. Dominick Black bought a gun illegally, gave it to a minor, who then killed someone with it, and prosecutors gave him a plea which amounts to nothing more than a traffic ticket. Still with me tonight, trial attorney Christa Ramey. Christa, what do you make of this?
Well, it's less than a misdemeanor, just to put a punctuation on what your point is, which is very good. It is not surprising to me, given the fact that we're in front of the same judge in Kenosha, Wisconsin, who found that the statute did not apply to Kyle Rittenhouse. And so the prosecution was left with probably little to no choice but to reach this agreement. There was going to be some sort of plea anyway, because Mr. Black testified at the time of trial. But this whole case is just a tragedy. I don't know that justice has been done by anyone, here when you have, this gun purchased in this way. It makes no sense to me at all. It was the one charge that I felt was solid against Rittenhouse from the very beginning. And it was just an overcharged, prosecuted crime that resulted in nothing, no justice for anyone, I don't think.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I always questioned that gun charge when I read the statute. I thought that there was a room there for, excuse me, I've got what you got now.
Yeah,
I thought there was room to argue that without a shortened barrel, this might not stick. So I thought that wasn't the problem. But this was an easy conviction. I just can't understand why they didn't continue to press forward with this prosecution.
I think, again, it's just the matter of being where they were. You're in front of the same judge that didn't like the statute and didn't think it applied. So it was not going to, maybe, who knows what was even going to be allowed to go to the jury um, after the presentation of evidence in the form of a directed verdict by this judge.
You know what's interesting is under normal circumstances, not this particular case, I would have thought this might have been the right disposition. It's a buddy who buys a gun for another buddy who's 17, very close to the age. They only wanted to go out and do some shooting together. But because it ended up in 2 murders, that's when my real problem with the result here is.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what alluding to, no justice is being served here. You've got, 2 people that lost their lives and a third person that was injured on that night. And, the jury ultimately found that Rittenhouse was not guilty of murder, but these crimes never had to have happened to begin with, but for the fact that this young, inexperienced person was carrying a weapon during a civil unrest like this. I mean, this was preventable in so many ways. And the purchase of the gun to begin with to give to Rittenhouse was what started this whole thing rolling.
What do you make of the prosecution's argument that the legal ruling that the gun was proper, that he could own the gun or have the gun, open carry it, and the lack of a conviction are the reasons why they went so easy on Black? What do you make of that argument?
I think that that's accurate. I think that you had Black who testified. You heard the prosecution lay this out. That he testified. He testified truthfully at trial. They believed he cooperated to help with the prosecution of his friend, who he was dating his sister. So this was not probably an easy choice for Black. You had a very cooperative witness, and you want to reward cooperation. I think that this might not be as distasteful for us if there would have been some sort of conviction in the Rittenhouse case. I think this becomes so distasteful because you have 2 innocent people. Well, you have 2 people dead that were there that night, and I think that that's where we kind of get turned off by the way that this plea happened.